Hello, welcome to this class. If you are new to me or if you are new to posers, my name is Emily. I'm going to lead us through this practice. Thank you so much for checking this out. This is a re-recording of a class I taught a couple days ago, themed around vampires, basically. And I'll talk about that a little bit, but it was a kind of a class I felt a little bit nervous to teach. I felt like it was just a little bit risky. I felt maybe like my mentors would be like, you should be careful there, because really it had to do with processing and letting our bodies feel into aggression and how to like consider having healthy aggression. And that's like really advanced work, and maybe not something like you just like come into a yoga vinyasa, ass kicker to like really like do that kind of work. And also like, I think to really do that kind of healing, you need to be grounded and you need to feel safe and you need to work within your own capacity and have that conversation with yourself. And like, that's, this is a 60-minute vinyasa class. And, again, this is meant to just be a moment of curiosity and fun, and just know that if at any point this feels like a little bit triggering for you, we're kind of pushing a little bit into that territory a little bit, and just to maybe pause the video and to maybe say not today, and that's always okay. But anyway, so I think this class is cool though, and I was bummed that I didn't get to record it when I was actually teaching it because my internet took a crap. So it was just a really bad recording, and it was also just a really kind of ungrounding class for me because when the internet fails, my head gets all distracted and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, for all the Buffy fans out there, because that's kind of how I themed the class, was around Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which is such an incredible TV show. If you haven't watched it, it is some of the best writing and storytelling that I've ever experienced in my life. I just think it's so brilliant, and I love Buffy as an archetype and a character, and a lot of you do too. So folks were pretty bummed if they didn't make it to the Buffy class or that I didn't record it. So here it is. Here's the Buffy class, and we're gonna get into it now. So let's start with vampires. Like, what is a vampire? And kind of what I'm trying to offer here is that we all have vampires. We have vampires, we have relationship vampires, people that just kind of suck us dry. We have our own sort of mental samskaras and our own sort of internal vampires that we have to overcome. The world is a vampire, but that's totally whatever. Anyway, very 90s theme today. But the vampires are super real, and that's just like a part of this world, is that sometimes we're just going to be in these experiences that are unpleasant and challenging, and there's going to be things every day that we just don't like, and sometimes it can be really intense. Sometimes our vampires are completely uncool. So our body, our physiology, naturally, just like as an animal, has a response to these things, and it comes out in the form of anger or aggression, right? That's kind of, or it can, and anger specifically, let's just keep it simple, is such like an uncool, not cool emotion to express. Even when we feel it, like it bubbles it up, and you can almost feel your physiology kind of contract to push it back down. Like there's this need to let something out, and it will come out. That's the thing, it's going to come out one way or another. So either we let our anger emotion come out the way it wants to, or it'll start to come out in another kind of symptom, and that will be different for every single one of us. Ultimately, I think a lot of what our healing is just learning to feel our feelings, and that's super challenging. That's not easy, especially when we've grown up in a society that has told us not to be sensitive and to not have feelings, and to just, we all have like all this shit going on underneath the surface. So I think a lot of the times we try to resolve or reconcile this inability to like have a safe space to express how we feel. And we try to do it in our head, and we try to think our way out of things, or we have those defensive conversations over and over and over again where we're, it's all up here. And our body our emotions live, you know, people say they start in your head, but we feel them in your body. I don't know. A lot of it doesn't matter what the story is. The emotion is felt. It's felt in the body. And I want to be open to the idea that there's ways to allow the body to express the emotions, so we can just stop with the obsession and the fixing and the escapism and the shutdown and all the other sort of things that go on in the head. If we could just allow the body to express this emotion in a way that felt grounding and safe and appropriate. And of course, nonviolent. How do we express aggression and anger in a way that doesn't cause more harm? Okay, so that's kind of the territory that physically we're going to be working on today. And so this sort of whole thing was inspired by a move that I didn't have a name for. And I'm going to demo all this for you, but it's, you know, you're going to bring your palms to touch, reach your arms up, bend your elbows, and then really lift your chest and bring your hands behind you. And we were doing this action in class the other day, and I was like, I don't know what to call this move. Maybe one of you will name it. And I got 4 or 5 people came back to me with responses about like, you should name it this or that, or like, and there was really great ideas. But one person, and Molly, if you're watching, it was you, named it the Slayer. And I was like, yes, because I love Buffy, and because like I super have vampires that like need to be slain. And the Dharma of Buffy, let's just keep it short, because if you don't know, you need to know. You know, she's the Slayer. It is literally her dharma, her purpose in life, to save the world. And saving the world isn't all love and light and, you know, journaling and like, you know, having these like circles of like transformation. Like sometimes saving the world is violent and messy and confusing and requires strong boundaries and defense and resistance. And Buffy struggled with that, like trying to reconcile being like a teenage girl who just wanted to like, you know, flirt and be cute and, you know, whatever. And then at the same time have the responsibility of like her dharma. Like, isn't that the reality we're all experiencing? Anyway, Buffy always rose to the occasion. You know, she always lived true to her dharma. And she's just such a good representation of confidence. So I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate some of the poses that we're gonna do inside of this class, because thematically they're all really interwoven, but just hearing the words themselves, just coming to this class, not really having any context as to what we were doing, again, could maybe feel a little bit triggering. So I'm gonna break it down and show you what we're gonna do. So really quickly, that Slayer move, and I'm just going to call it Slay. You'll do it from different positions, but it's bringing the arms up overhead, palms to touch, and then bending the elbows so that the thumbs come down towards the nape of your neck here. In your hands, just, you know, don't worry about getting your thumbs to touch your neck. That's not really the point. But from here, we're doing this big action in the upper body. The arms and the chest are opening, but I want you to lift the chest and really kind of poof the chest out. When we, as a mammal, when we come forward into something with our chest out, that's our physiology saying, hey, I'm confident. Like I'm powerful, right? We see animals do it all the time. They puff out their chest when they're there to like assert themselves. And even if we feel in our heads insecure or full of doubt or nervous, that's why you ever seen that TED talk about power posing? Just taking a moment to just gently lift your chest will actually help, or can help, calm down your physiology and ground you a little bit. So when we do this, and I'll talk you through the whole thing, but it's a bend of the elbows and also a very intentional, like a lift of the chest. And this needs to come from the root, really from the pelvic floor through the belly with bandha to support this strong, proud chest. So it'll be an inhale to arms up and an exhale to slay, almost like a little back bend. And then the other thing we're going to do is I'm going to use the word slice. So again, that's like not a terrible word. It can mean something intense though, right? So for slicing, again, palms will touch, and then you're going to slice. And again, I'll talk you through it. You'll bring your elbow to the outside of your leg. It's going to be a slicing action. And then what was the other one? Oh yes, so this is a tricky transition. It's one that I practice and I teach a lot, so some of you are familiar. But from a high lunge, right, you're gonna bend your back knee and kind of hover, right? You're gonna weight into your front foot here, and then on an inhale, you're gonna rise into a one-legged Tadasana with your arms down. And again, if you just kind of imagine, you know, there's a vampire in your hand, you could just crush it. So it's a little, it could be, and you don't need to, you know, be super intense about it, but it could be a moment to allow your body to, you know, to kind of allow just some of those, to let those things out. Our yoga mat, that, you know, whatever shape that is, that rectangle, that's a very powerful and awesome, and it can be a really safe space for us to work out a lot of stuff that's in here, that's like literally in our tissues. So thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to listen. And now we're gonna get into class. All right. I'm gonna bring a couple yoga blocks to my mat. If you don't have blocks, they're not required. I just like to use them for chaturanga. And also, I'm gonna bring a scarf. I don't have a yoga strap at home. I'm gonna bring a scarf just in case my quads and my hip flexors have been really, really tight. So some of the postures that we're gonna work into, I might need a prop to get into them. So if you have a scarf or a tube sock or something like that, that'll work just fine. All right, make your way to a seat. And we'll take just a few moments here to kind of slow down. And I think the first thing that we should do, at least in my practice, for me, the first thing that I think makes the most sense when integrating into this work is to keep the eyes open and to really take the time to consciously observe your external environment. Maybe you're in a space that you've been in 1,000 times, but can you just look at it with fresh eyes? Notice the objects and the colors. What's the light like? What time of day is it? Maybe there's sound in your space. And it's okay to keep the eyes open the whole time. But if it feels relatively chill, right, I think giving ourselves permission to orient to our space is the first sort of step into establishing a sense of safety. I know I'm in my apartment. I have a good idea that, you know, nothing too wild will happen. I feel okay. I'm going to go ahead and allow myself to close my eyes. I don't need to worry about what's going on out there right now. I'm going to start to focus on what's going on in here. So let's begin by pouring the awareness down into the earth. So however you're sitting and whatever you're sitting on, just a moment to notice the points of contact between the body and the floor. And as we settle into the seat, maybe just see if you can invite this idea of really giving the weight of you just for a few breaths really to the ground. Fully allowing yourself to arrive and work with whatever presents itself. No expectation, nothing to push away, nothing to force. Just giving yourself a lot of permission to be open and to be present to what is here. And paying attention to, regardless of how things are manifesting or what is manifesting, the earth is always there and supports you unconditionally, regardless of how you're feeling or how you show up. It is there and it is holding you no matter what. And just coming back to that place of connection and contact, right? That's literally what the word yoga means, is this union, this relationship. Focusing on the relationship to earth and to ground is foundational, fundamental in this work. So always okay to just have a seat, to lay down, and to feel into the support of the ground underneath you. And I would like for us to begin chanting the seed sound of Om. If chanting is not for you, that's totally chill. You're welcome just to sit and listen in presence. But I encourage you to be curious about sound, to feel sound as you make it. And here we go. Let's take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, prepare for Om. Take a breath in and a breath out. I'm going to invite you into Balasana. The child's pose is our first posture. You're welcome to stay in a seat though, but I'm going to encourage you either to come in the child's pose or to stay in a seat. So for Balasana, go ahead and come to your knees. Spread them nice and wide and bring your big toes to touch. You can sneak your hips back on your heels here, right? And again, creating space here so that the belly and the chest have space to really be passive and hang heavy. And we'll start to crawl the arms forward and relax the forehead down. And as we settle into this shape, again, just notice the points of contact between the body and the floor. Continuing to just really slow down. Moving right from the thinking mind, the to-do list, the anticipation, the storyteller, into the felt sense of your physical body. And as always, it's not about not having thoughts. The narrator will continue to be there the entire time. But seeing if instead of favoring the awareness of the story, see if you can favor the awareness of your breath. Ujjayi pranayama, slight hug to the back of your throat. Inhale through your nose. Seal your lips, exhale through your nose. You can continue to breathe like that on your own, noticing the sound and the texture of your breath today. In our vinyasa practice, we move breath to posture. So remember, this is just as much a pranayama practice as it is asana. And just to trust it, move with the length of your breath. If you ever lose your breath, give yourself a moment to reset. Really find that Ujjayi pranayama. We'll do our best to breathe with each other and connect that way. Let's take one more Ujjayi breath here together. Ujjayi breath out. Staying in Balasana, start to walk your palms to touch. So keeping your arms extending forward, bring your palms to touch overhead and make that prayer position. Right, mindful of your shoulders here, but start to bend your elbows and come into that sway. Right, so bring the thumbs to the back of your neck. And you can just meet whatever edge, your body takes you to. No need to push past anything. I'm just going to start to feel this action in the shoulders. If you're in a seat, you'll just reach your arms up overhead, right, bend your elbows back. Go ahead and release your palms back down to the ground. You can bring your hands underneath your shoulders here. Let's press up to a tabletop position. Give yourself a moment to just kind of wiggle. Child's pose, a lot of compression. I always kind of struggle with having my face just like down on the mat like that. So I always feel like I need to kind of, breathe and just give yourself moments to feel, right, this sort of posture dissolve. Wiggle how you see fit. Coming into this neutral tabletop. This time, keep your hips above your knees, but we'll come back into sort of the same action of reaching forward that we did in Balasana. This is they call it the puppy dog pose. So some of you might know that you have the range of motion to bring your chin to the mat. You're welcome to do that. If this is a lot in your shoulders or I really feel it in my armpits, so I'm going to widen my hands just a little bit and bend my elbows. Just take a couple more breaths. Start to bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Press yourself up through table pose. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Again, this sort of stacking of the joints so you can kind of give the weight of you and your bones to the ground. Let's warm up the spine here. Inhaling cow pose. Drop your belly. Lift your gaze. Exhale, cat pose. Press into the mat. Down the shoulders. Gaze back at your thighs. Inhale for cow pose. Right, arching. Maybe open up the throat. Exhale, cat pose, doming, rounding back. Inhale for cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Good. This time when you come in through cow pose, good. Go ahead and tuck the toes under and then lift the tailbone high up and backward down dog. Pedal it out. We're just going to kind of spend the first, 5 or so minutes just wiggling. So settling in here. Start with where you feel the earth. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Right, really root through your palms. Right, you're using your hands as feet. So just feeling the way you're distributing your body weight against gravity here. And kind of letting the shoulders relax down the back, right? Kind of lengthening them away from your ears. I'm going to encourage all of us to bring a nice big bend into the knees here to create slack in the hamstring. And then actively lift your tailbone high up and back. Right, and when you do this, the shape of your body might not change a whole lot. Please don't worry about the shape of your body. Feel the shape of the body lengthening the spine. Right, tail lifts high up and back. Make sure your head here. I like to open my eyes in down dog because you're upside down. It's sort of a grounding inversion with all 4 limbs on the floor, so it's an opportunity to kind of safely observe your environment from a very different perspective. And then just be sensitive. Begin to straighten your heels or lower your heels and straighten your legs just as much as they'll go. Let's take a big breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, look at the top of your mat. Exhale, step forward, ragdoll Uttanasana. Spread your feet hip width distance. Knees can be soft, belly is soft, head and neck is soft. Any arm variation is fine. You can leave your fingertips to the floor for more grounding. Maybe grab your elbows. A few more breaths here. Any variations, please go for it. I'm going to interlace my fingers behind my back for a little bit of a shoulder opener. One of my favorites, but you can twist or interlace your fingers behind your head and neck. Go ahead and release whatever arm variation you're taking. Let's take a moment to set up the feet for sun salutation. So you can toe heel your feet to touch or bring your feet underneath your hips. I encourage you to experiment. We get taught very often that toe heel is like tradition or classic. I'm a little bit knock-kneed and bring my toes all the way to touch, pushes my legs back, which turns my thigh bones and the hip sockets in a weird way. Listen to your own alignment. Right? Get your feet in a place where you feel they're going to be rooted, right? So maybe underneath your hips or just an inch apart or so. Bend your knees a lot here, please. Inhale for halfway lift, lengthen your spine, pull the crown of the head forward. Exhale to fold, hips up, head low. Let's do it twice more. Bend the knees a lot, please. Inhale, half lift length. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Okay, go ahead and keep the bend in the knees. Press, root through your heels. Let's unfold the spine and rise all the way up to standing. That's going to come probably with a little whoosh, right? Your blood pressure is going to recalibrate a little bit. You were just upside down for a long time. So give yourself a breath, maybe wiggle your toes, let your body settle. And we'll meet in Samasthiti. Please root through all four corners of your feet, right? Strong through your legs. Relax your shoulders down your back. You can turn your palms to face the front, or maybe gather your hands at heart center in Anjali Mudra. If you feel good, you can close down your eyes here, right? If you like, you can keep them open. But just a moment to let things again get quiet and a little bit more inward focus. Just kind of validating the felt sense of your body today. Every day is a little different. How are the bones and the muscles and the tissues kind of feeling? And checking in with your energy level and your emotional tone, your mood. I think it's just important to understand, I hear it all the time, oh, just forget what's happened earlier today, just leave it at the door, give yourself permission just to let go. Like sometimes what's going on in here is loud. Sometimes it's really, really loud, right? So there's no need to force or push away anything, but instead of sort of telling a story about it, notice what is its texture? What is its volume? Some of you might see things maybe in color, might have a color or a light about it. So asking yourself, how do I feel? But most importantly, how do I know that's how I feel? Right, and permission to have feelings, like that's a natural, normal thing. From this incredibly honest and curious investigation of the self, such a courageous practice, let yourself set a little intention and remind yourself why maybe you clicked on this video. Maybe there's a freaking vampire in your life that needs to get theirs, you know what I mean? And it's not about being physically harmful. It's about, slaying our inner demons. So this is a good place to kind of be curious about how those things feel, and maybe a place to kind of dedicate a little ritual of, what you're ready to let go of, what you are determined to end. And maybe thinking about, what are you willing to fight for? Right? What are your values? But whatever your intention is, just allowing yourself to find a word or a symbol, go ahead and hold it in your mind. And welcome the sincerity of the student into the heart. Take a big breath in, breathe it to life. Open mouth, exhale. Release your arms down. Sun Salutation A, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, the arms up, pose, reach up. Right away, exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Always okay to bend your knees. Inhale for halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen the spine. Exhale, plant your hands, step back for Dandasana, the high plank pose, top of a push-up. And pause, we'll stack the joints here, shoulders, elbows, wrists. Always okay to practice on your forearms or your knees, now or at any time. But as always, whatever version you choose, give yourself a moment just to close your eyes and breathe. Let yourself feel, right? Notice that it's okay and normal that this is challenging and uncomfortable and loud and intense. It's allowed to be all of those things without being something that you can't handle. I give it one more breath. Good, exhale, shift forward, lower down halfway or all the way for Chaturanga, elbows in. Inhale for upward facing dog, flip the toes. Pull the heart forward and up. You could also practice the low cobra here. Exhale, downward facing dog, hips up and back. All right, let's give it a little wiggle and a couple breaths. I'm just gonna start to move us through, our practice now, pretty much breath to posture. So as always, stay sensitive, listen to your body. Push and pull on the
offering of the class and the poses in whatever way it makes the most sense for you today. Please take variations. You're always welcome to skip chaturanga. I will probably skip quite a few of them in order to keep my breath so I can talk us through this whole thing. Remember, there's lots of good and intelligent ways to do this, right? Most importantly, be yourself and do your best. Here we go. One body, one breath as one entity, right? For each other. Take a breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, float, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, arms up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga, step, jump, or skip it. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, inhale, look forward. Exhale, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach it up, breathe it in. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, Chaturanga, step, jump, skip it. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. We're gonna add on a little bit. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, and pause. So I'm gonna ask you to come to bring your palms to touch. In a moment, just to kind of check this out. Some of you might feel like you can bring your biceps to your ears and it's like no problem. Some of us are gonna feel better with a little bend in the elbows. So just check it out. And then as you're ready, bend your elbows and bring your palms or your thumbs here sort of to the back of your neck, wherever they land for you. Kind of, you can, I don't really think it matters. To me, my elbows kind of want to reach together, but just don't worry so much about that. What I think is more important here is rooting. So root through your feet, maybe a little engagement of your thighs, a little bit through the kneecaps, and then bandha, uddiyana, mula bandha. So really pulling up through the floor of the pelvis and the belly to support this action of really lifting the sternum up, right? So you're puffing your chest out. All right, it might feel good to kind of let your butt stick back like you're in a back bend. Let's take one more breath. Good, inhale, arms reach back up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Woo. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step the left leg back into a lunge. And just give yourself a moment to kind of shimmy, take up some space. Let's drop down to the back knee, untuck the toes, and inhale, lift your chest up for this low crescent lunge for a moment. And let the pulse, right? Just sort of bend in and out of the right knee a few times. If you need to fold over your mat to sort of protect your left kneecap, that's fine. We have a little time here. I want to focus very much on the left hip flexor and quadricep. So you might even kind of come up into stacking your left knee and your left hip for a moment, and then tuck your tail under, your sort of tuck your pelvis, and then re-bend into the right knee. So you really focus on meeting the edge and the sort of where the pose starts to give you feedback with sensation. Let yourself kind of feel into that stretch. You might even feel it in your psoas. Just sink into whatever depth you can. Let's give it one more breath. Exhale for half splits. Rock back onto your left shin. Work to kind of kick your right foot forward, maybe flex your toes back towards your face. You round your upper body here, your spine. Let's just kind of have a few passive breaths into the belly of the right hamstring. Go ahead and crawl back through a neutral low lunge. So engage your back leg, right? Tuck your toes under, hands frame your right foot. We're gonna build a little heat here, right? Inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee, right tricep, shoulders over wrists. Good, again, same thing. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee to tricep. One more, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee to tricep, shoulders over wrist, pause. Stay in plank. Inhale, step back, right leg. Exhale, low plank, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sound effects are welcome. Take a breath in. Open mouth, HJ. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, float, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're gonna slay with breath. Inhale, arms up, palms touch. Exhale, slay, lift the chest. Inhale, reach up. Good, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step your right leg back to lunge. Good. And in a moment, as you settle here, take up space, come down to your back knee. Kind of assist yourself lifting up here. And again, just pull little pulses back and forth. See what your right hip says to that. And then again, maybe coming up to tuck the tail. Right? Your sacrum tilts down. Then rebend into that knee and notice how it sort of deepens the stretch here. Oh, sticky, sticky. Settle in, we'll have one more full breath in. Exhale for half splits. Rock back onto your right shin. Extend your left foot forward. You rest here to round down. And just checking in, seeing if you can allow the felt sense, the sensations to be explored with curiosity. All right, come back through that low lunge. Root down here. Engage your back leg, strong movement. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg up. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. Again, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to tricep. One more, inhale, left leg up. Good, exhale, knee to tricep. Stay low, inhale, plank, step back. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. Open mouth, HJ. Like a lion, breathe in. Ujjayi. Ujjayi. Second wave, inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, float, top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale to fold. Ooh, bend your knees, sit low. Inhale, Uttanasana, fierce pose. Lift your chest. Bring your arms up and pause. Body weight in the heels, right? Sit back, stick your butt back, sit low, right? And then lift the chest again so you're back bending. If this is intense in your arms, you can bring your hands to heart center, but practice bringing your palms to touch. One more, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Ooh. Inhale, halfway. Good, exhale, plant your hands, step your left leg back, low lunge. So right foot is forward. Our inhale is cat lunge. So work to straighten the front leg, right? Round your spine and pause. I'm gonna utilize my blocks here. It just kind of feels like the best decision for me today. If I didn't have blocks, I would use my fingertips, right? And kind of tent my hands around my right leg here for support. Remember that the action here is the legs are straightening. They may never get all the way straight, right? So please respect your right hamstring. Don't force anything. Meet a sustainable and interesting and respectable edge. And this is frontside compression. So imagine you want to round your spine and get your forehead on your knee. You might feel a little compression here through the throat. One more full breath in. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana to the left, the wide-legged forward bend. Oh, and let's have a few breaths, yeah? And take up some space. Maybe let the hands relax here on the floor for more support, so you can just kind of let your upper body be passive. We'll stay for 5 or so breaths, so if you feel like wiggling or twisting or going upside down, you're welcome to trust your impulses here. All right, variations will start to come back through a sort of neutral Prasarita. Bring your fingertips or your hands underneath your shoulders and bend your knees just a little bit. Come into a halfway lift. When we flow throughout class, from Prasarita, we're gonna rise all the way up to standing. But for now, just again, a little softness in your knees. Find Bandha once again, right? So strong through your pelvis and your belly. Inhale to lift your chest, stand up, high pyramid pose, palms will touch overhead. Exhale, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana. And let's settle. Bend in and out of your front knee a few times. Have that moment with your hip socket. And then just, you know, depending on how things are feeling in the adductor and whatnot, find a good alignment here, working your right knee toward your right ankle. Cross through your back leg, right? Nothing is passive, you're really engaging it. Left foot roots down. And let's reach the arms out. Fierce warrior 2 pose. Good. And go ahead and straighten the front knee here. Take a breath in. Exhale, triangle, Trikonasana. So bump your hips back and reach. When you can't reach anymore, strong through your belly, you can bring your right arm down for balance. Left arm reaches up, right? Left hip is pulling forward and down, with the left rib cage is twisting up and open. So it's a twisting pose. It's also a standing pose. So even if the right arm is coming to the shin or to a block for support, really it's there for balance, not necessarily, you're not leaning your weight into your leg, especially if your knee is hyperextending. So strong through your legs. Let's twist here. We'll have a breath pull us back up to that high pyramid pose. So keep your feet as they are, breathe in, palms touch. Listen, exhale to slay, parallel your feet, bend your elbows, and again, lift through your chest, squeeze the floor of the pelvis, the belly, up and in for Bandha. Good, take a breath in, and exhale, Prasarita, right back down, wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge to the front and pause. Let's come down to the back knee and tuck the toes for a lizard's lunge. Not here terribly long, but long enough for you to explore. Right, walking the right foot up and out. You're welcome to come down to your forearms here. You're welcome to stay on your palms. I might utilize a block. Kind of find myself in a halfway place. Few deep breaths if it feels good to kind of rock under the outer edge of your right foot. Turn your toes out a little bit. Your hips love movement, so you'll know when you meet a place that needs a little extra love or breath. You can stay there. And you're welcome to just hang in the lizard's lunge for a moment, or if you like, we're going to practice a quad stretch. I'm planting the left hand, bend the left knee, and then reach back for the foot with the right hand. So this would be a great place to grab the scarf. Being your own assistant here is not super easy, but I will do it. There we go. And going ahead and using that scarf to deepen the stretch. A little bit will go a long way. All right, one more breath in. Whew. Exhale, let's let that go. Whatever variation you're in, come back up onto your palms. Engage your back leg. And let's hands will frame the right foot. So you're in this low lunge, right? Tuck your toes under. All right, now listen. Inhale, right leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, round forward. Inhale, three-legged dog. Good, exhale, knee to nose. Again, shoulders over wrists. One more, inhale, right leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. This time, inhale, right leg up. Option to keep it lifted for chaturanga. Look forward, shift forward, lower down just halfway. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's give it a full breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, or float. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, fierce pose. Uttanasana. It's the warrior posture. Exhale, forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Ardha. Exhale, plant your hands, right leg steps back. Low lunge. Inhale, cat lunge. Hips up and back. And breathe. And again, meeting your edge here. Just a few breaths to feel into it. Rounding the spine. Breathing all of that space through the back line of the body. And into all of that compression in the front. One more full breath in. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged fold. Okay, so this time we're gonna just come all the way up to standing. So mindful of your lower back here, strong through your legs. Inhale, high pyramid, lift your chest, palms touch. Exhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana, and pause. Good. Again, bending in and out of the front knee. Taking some time to settle in. And this is external rotation of your hip socket, or your thigh bone in your hip socket. So maybe take a moment to just kind of look at your front knee and notice that you can turn it to the left. You can turn it to the right. Really, it's your thigh bone that's doing it, not necessarily your knee. But we want to see the knee kind of open up over the left pinky toe, right? So that the thigh is externally rotating, right? Keep that rotation. Inhale, straighten your front knee. Good. Exhale, triangle, right? Internally rotate now. The right hip. Reach, reach, reach forward. Left arm down, right arm up, right? So kind of imagining here that your right hip was pulling down towards the ground, but the right rib cage was twisting up and open. You need to adjust your stance. It's a balancing pose, so listen to yourself, create support where you need it. Ujjayi. Good, strong through your belly. Inhale, high pyramid. Good, exhale, parallel your feet and slay. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, low lunge to the front. And again, we'll take some time here to really work into the hips. So drop down to your back knee and tuck your toes. Walk your left foot up and out into our lizard's lunge. We're really giving ourselves a little time here. This is definitely prepping us up for some poses we're gonna work into in our next series. So feel into it. Stay present to the sort of language or conversation that the body wants to have with you as you ask it to do this. And I just think it's important to kind of, I know a lot of us are probably on the same page here, but like, you know, our hips really carry stress the same way our shoulders do. The nature of the sort of anatomy of those joints are just nature's containers to sort of hold and carry affect. So when we move inside of these poses, not only is the body really feeling a physical sensation, we often are met with agitation or irritation or boredom, or all sorts of memory can come up. That's definitely a part of this. Finding ground, right? Giving yourself permission to just kind of notice these sensations, not trying to manage them too much. Go ahead and bend your right knee. If you want to grab your strap here for the quad stretch. I'm making like a little loop and then awkwardly making my way. awkwardly making my way. It's just the Emily Denton story. All right, let's go ahead and let that go. Take your time. If you're on your forms, press yourself back up. All right, let's shimmy the left foot between the hands again and come into a lunge. So engage your back leg, toes tuck under. Here we go. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg up. Exhale, left knee, left tricep. Or knee to nose. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. One more. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, knee to nose. This time, inhale, left leg up. Option to keep it lifted. Exhale, look forward, shift forward, shoulders over wrists, bend your elbows, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Ooh. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's take a full breath in. Open mouth, HJ. Peak wave. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, sit low. Inhale, Uttanasana, fierce. Palms touch. Good, listen, exhale, slice it to the right. Palms to touch, bring your left elbow toward the outside of your right knee or thigh. Right, and sitting again, nice and low, lengthen your spine. Inhale is an open twist. Right arm pulls up and open, and pause. Pause again, just to kind of feel the navel come up and in, a little compression. Weight in your heels. Let's give it one more big breath. Exhale, forward fold. Whew. Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, plant your hands. Left leg steps back to lunge. Inhale is cat lunge. Hips up and back. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, high pyramid, palms touch. Exhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Inhale, straighten your front knee. Exhale, Trikonasana. Inhale, high pyramid, palms touch. Parallel your feet. Exhale, slay. Good. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, low lunge to the front. Good. Pause here. Feet are on separate tracks. All right, you're gonna stay nice and engaged, strong through your back leg. Inhale is Anjaneyasana, the high lunge, and breathe. So just a moment to kind of balance and calibrate. Always okay to come down to the back knee, right? Make little adjustments. And then as always, the refinements are the same. Feel the right thigh bone pull back, the left hip pull forward, strong through your navel. Take a breath in. Good, exhale, hands to your heart, bend your left knee. Ooh. Now here we go, here's that move. Inhale, one-legged Tadasana, arms down. Left leg lifts, and pause. Pause to kind of move through that action in your body, see how it feels. Know that we'll do it again. And you can replay this video and you can do it again, so you have time to practice, right? But from here, you're welcome to stay. Maybe you bring your arms up overhead, palms touch, right? Maybe you bend your elbows into the sleigh. Right? Maybe you stay here. Maybe you bring your left knee to meet your right knee and kick your left foot behind you. And I'll just take a moment before we move into any more of this balance. Strong through your bandhas, lift the chest. Let yourself come into a back bend. And then reach your left foot like you wanted your hands and your foot to touch. So you're kind of coming into this half sort of arced dancer slayer pose. We're here for 3. Arms up, one-legged Tadasana and 2. And 1. Inhale, arms up, leg up. Exhale, low lunge. Plant your hands. Step your left leg back. Inhale is 3-legged dog. Right leg kicks up. This is it. Exhale, chaturanga. Option to float the right leg. Inhale is up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, HJ. Let's do one more just like that. Breathe in. Open mouth. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Uttanasana, fierce pose, palms touch. Good, exhale, slice it to the left. Inhale, open up, big twist. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, right leg steps back. Inhale, cat. Exhale, Prasarita. Inhale, high pyramid, palms touch. Exhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Inhale, straighten your front knee. Exhale, Trikonasana. Inhale, high pyramid, palms touch. Parallel your feet. Exhale to sleigh. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, Prasarita Padottanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, low lunge to the front. Good. Now pause again. Just find your footing. Feet are on separate tracks. Press. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Reach up and pause. And just let your body calibrate. Don't expect this to be an easy or smooth experience, right? Let yourself settle, find ground, find your breath. Okay, let's take that inhale. Exhale, hands to your heart, bend your back knee, hover it. Right, feel the earth underneath your left foot and press. Inhale, one-legged Tadasana, right leg up, and breathe. And just take your time. If you need to put both feet on the ground for a minute, please do. If you fall out, jump back in. And then as you're ready, maybe you stay or bring your palms to touch overhead. Maybe bend your elbows to slide. And maybe you lift your chest, bring your knees to touch. Right, again, really focus on that bandha strong. Keep the sternum lifting. And then reach. Like we're gonna bring your fingertips to your toes. Breathing here just for 3. One-legged Tadasana and 2. And 1. Inhale, back up. One-legged Tadasana. Exhale, low lunge, step back. Inhale, three-legged dog, left leg lifts. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. All right, take a big breath in. Breath out. Breathe in. Breathe out. And just let yourself sort of feel the heat and the wave and the thoughts and all of the whirlwind of you for a minute. And I'm going to encourage us to push because we're super close to being done. If you need a break, if you need water, please honor those things. But let's just, I'm going to cue us through it. We're just going to boss it. You can always pause the video, I guess. Let's find the breath, find each other. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, or float, top of your mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, bend your knees. Inhale, Uttanasana, fierce pose, palms touch. Good, exhale, slice. Inhale, arms up, open twist. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant your hands, left leg steps back. Inhale, cat. Exhale, Prasarita. Inhale, high pyramid, rise. Exhale, warrior two, Virabhadrasana. Inhale, straighten your front knee. Exhale, Trikonasana. Inhale, high pyramid, palms touch. Exhale, parallel your feet, sleigh. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, Prasarita, right back down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, low lunge to the front. Good, inhale, high lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, hands to your heart, bend your left knee. Inhale, one-legged, left leg lifts, and pause. Again, option to stay, but we're gonna practice standing bow pose today. So bringing your left hand out beside you, palm face up. No monkey business, no twisty. Your palm is faced up. Grab for the inside arch of your left foot and bring your knees to touch. Catch your breath. Feel the earth. And slow it down. Maybe bring your arm up overhead, palm facing forward. Okay. And just like
in, this is our standing bow pulling pose, but I've never seen Buffy use a traditional bow and arrow, but she's definitely used a crossbow. So this is a weapon, regardless. It's a posture named after a weapon. So maybe just thinking about what you have your eye on, what you're working to target, or maybe if you need to shoot an internal vampire right between its eyes today, right, be that arrow. Let's take a breath in. Exhale, kick, 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 kick. Kick into your hands so much that you start to back bend, right? When you can't kick back anymore, kick up and bring your body down. I have to bring my hand to my heart because my bookshelf is in the way. Right? Lowering down, kicking and reaching. We're here for 3. One-legged Tadasana and 2. And 1. Good. Press back up. One-legged. Take the breath in. Exhale. Low lunge. Plant your hands. Frame the right foot. Good. Last push here. Inhale. 3-legged dog. Right leg kicks high and up. Listen. Exhale. Scorpion dog. Bend your knees. Sole of the foot reaches in towards your booty. Pause if it feels good to make little circles with your head or kick. Behind you, you can. Maybe you flip it. Maybe you flip your right foot all the way down to the ground. Press into the earth. Lift your hips and your heart. Good. One more full breath in. Good. Exhale, chaturanga. Flip it back. Oh my goodness. Flow your vinyasa or skip it. Let's take a big breath in. Up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward. Whew. Facing dog. Take a breath in. Breath out. Good, last side, right? Let's demolish it. Take a breath in. Open mouth. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step, hop, float, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, bend the knees. Inhale, Uttanasana, fierce pose. Good, exhale, slice it to the left. Inhale, open, twist, left arm up. Exhale to fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, right leg steps back. Low lunge. Inhale, cat. Exhale, prasarita. Inhale, high pyramid, palms touch. Exhale, warrior 2, Vira, Balasana. Inhale, straighten the front knee. Exhale, Trikonasana. Inhale, high pyramid. Parallel the feet. Exhale to slay. Good. Inhale, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, low lunge to the front. Good. Nice and rooted here, focused. Inhale, Anjaneyasana, high lunge. Exhale, hands to your heart. Bend your back knee. Inhale, one-legged. Good. And then let's pause. Okay. Standing bow, right? Right arm faces out, palm faces up. Grab the inside arch of the right foot, palms to touch. Left arm reaches up, right? Bring your knees to touch and just pause. Find that non-moving focal point, feel the ground. No expectation here, right? Maybe you start to kick. When you can't kick back anymore, you start kicking up, your glute's gonna fire and pull you into a back bend. From here, you're gonna have to bring your body down to counterbalance. Body down, leg up. Breathing, 4, 3. One-legged into, and 1. Inhale, one-legged, reach up. Exhale, low lunge, plant your hands. Left leg steps back. Last push, inhale, 3-legged dog, left leg lifts. Exhale for scorpion or flip. Take your time here, flip dog, flip it all the way over. Rooting down to press to lift. And wherever you are, feel the earth, feel the space. One more breath in. Good, exhale, flip it back, chaturanga, or skip it and meet us in down dog. Inhale is up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, take a breath in. Breath out. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, half pigeon. Half pigeon on the right. Bring the right knee somewhere behind the right wrist. Bring the left ankle or the right ankle somewhere behind the left wrist. And then come down and re-extend your back leg. You can place a block here underneath your right hip. You could also practice this on your back in a supine figure 4. But I'm going to actually ask us to just examine for a moment, keeping this in a back bend. right? So whether you have a prop underneath you or not, keeping your chest lifted, your fingertips at least planted here for support, and practice that same bandha that we were practicing in our sleigh. Right, so root through the floor of your pelvis, bring your belly up and in. You might even feel your hips kind of want to squeeze back together, right, when you engage your pelvis like that. So just a moment to root here. And then from here, you can take a moment if you like, and you want to do this in a little bit more of a passive practice, let go of bandha and relax down to your forearms. You can stay for a few breaths like this. We have a little bit more time here, so please feel free to stay. If you like, I'm going to work us into sort of a version of kind of like a king pigeon pose. And again, you might need your scarf here for this. But for king pigeon, coming back into that lifted back bend version, find your bandhas, and then re-bend into the left knee. Right, so the toe is behind you. From here, reach back with your left hand, right, and grab for the outside of your foot, or do that same business that we did in the quad stretch with your scarf. And this might be a good place to stay, right? And kind of working into like a, almost like a, I think they call this the mermaid pose. I used to be able to do a lot more of these things. Oh, maybe you slay, right? You bring your elbows to touch, or your palms to touch, if you were gonna grab that same action. Yeah. Wherever you are, one more breath. Oh, what a doozy. All right, let's go ahead and let that go. Go ahead and engage your back leg, plant your palms, and step back into a downward facing dog. You just wiggle, good 3 or so breaths. Okay, other side, left leg kicks up. Half pigeon on the left, left knee somewhere behind the left wrist, left ankle somewhere behind the right wrist. And then start to extend and lower down through your back leg. Again, if you're dealing with any sort of injury in your left knee, if there's meniscus issues, or, you know, sometimes it's not just the hip that can kind of make this posture inaccessible. It might be a different bone in your body. So coming onto your back is totally fine for a supine figure 4. Let's start lifted here. And again, practicing with bandha. So everything is lifting. And it's like a gentle little back bend. And this is a very strong place to stay, right? It seems so simple maybe to the eye, but there's quite a bit going on underneath the surface. Maybe you melt forward here into this melting half pigeon pose for a few breaths. You might stay there, or if you like, if you want to work that sort of king pigeon variation, plant back up onto your palms, bend your right knee, and reaching back with the right hand for the foot, right? That might be just a great place to stay. You can kind of use your other hand here as leverage, but continue to engage the bandha. Right? Maybe this side's going to be a lot more difficult for me. I can just feel it already, but I'll try. Maybe you take the scarf, put it around your foot. Okay. And then now I have all of this space. Maybe you bring your hands back behind you like you did to sleigh, and breathe. Lift your chest. All right. I would have to let go. Give yourself a few breaths if you're there, and if you made it and you want more time, give yourself another breath. But then as you're ready, let's come out. And we'll come into our last downward facing dog of class. Nice full breath here. Oh. All right, y'all, let's have a seat. Do a little forward bending. Done so much back bending today. So take a moment, bring your legs out long in front of you. I'm going to encourage you to just use your hands to kind of assist your butt behind you. Take a deep breath in to reach up. And exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana, seated forward fold. You give yourself a moment of, again, just favoring the awareness between the body and the floor. See if you can invite a sense of relaxation into your back body. Fill it with your breath. And gently start to lift your chest. Let's come all the way up and onto the back. Ananda Balasana, happy baby pose. Bend your knees, grab for the insides of the outsides of your feet. We'll take a little space and time here. I'm going to cue us after this into a supine twist before Shavasana. But if there's any other finishing poses that you feel like practicing, you're welcome to. This would be a great place to do a bridge or a wheel if you're a back bender or working on a back bend. In class, you could do plow or shoulder stands. Lots of good options here. So maybe just listen to your body. Happy baby might feel like plenty. Variations, take your time. Let's start to come back through. I invite you into full Apanasana for a moment. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Then open up your arms wide, drop your knees over to the left for a supine twist. If you like, you can maybe turn your head to look over your right shoulder. If it feels good, maybe again, just take a moment to open your eyes and to kind of check in with your environment. Get a sense of sort of physically where you are, right? That conversation between your body and the space around your body. Bring your knees back through center, drop them off on the other side. Bring your knees back through center. Let's give a little hug and a squeeze here. If you like, you can bring your forehead up to your knees. Let's take one more full breath in. Exhale, Shavasana, final rest. Extend your legs out long, or maybe come to your side or your belly, truly just any shape that you feel you can be passive in for a moment so you can ground. Really let the earth kind of support all of the sense that you have of you. And as you feel that support at your back body, maybe bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, so there's a little contact and warmth on the front. Feeling your heartbeat and the rise and fall of your breath. And just a moment to really acknowledge and feel in this very moment that you are powerful, you are alive, you are lit up. Your heart is beating, your breath is moving, your mind is working. Right? There is all of this energy inside of you. And it is expressive and creative. And part of its creativity comes out in the sensation of emotion. And that it's fully okay and normal to feel things. I know it sounds so basic, but think about that for a minute. And for the next 5 or so breaths, I would like to invite you into a mantra practice. On the inhale, mentally say to yourself, I am powerful. On your exhale, say to yourself, I am safe in my power. I am powerful. I am safe in my power. And if you have time, you're welcome just to stay. It's time to wrap things up. Give a little wiggle to the toes and to the fingers. Maybe take that big full body stretch, full belly breath. Gently curl yourself in and over to one side. And then use your arms to press yourself up to a seat. We'll have a sit and a moment to close out the practice. As you land, I'll invite you to close down your eyes and bring your hands to heart center in Anjali Mudra. Our hand gesture in this yoga context here represents non-dualism, this idea that seemingly oppositional forces can and do exist in the compassionate center of the heart, right? Left and right, above and below, you and me, beginning and end. Just a moment to really honor, right, truth in all things, all beings, and all experience. And a moment to send yourself a wave of appreciation for really doing something very good for the body on a physical level to kind of move through the tissues and the muscles and the bones, but being curious about your felt sense and being open to learning to work with the body when we have feelings instead of just the mind or external resourcing, learning to really come inside of our own selves and trust, right, our intuition and the language and the movement of the expression of our body to guide us to our truest path of nurturing and wellness and healing. Knowing that when we do that, we are in turn stronger and able to go back out in the world and be of better service. We'll close our practice out with just one Om. Take a deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Inhale, prepare for Om. Breathe in. Breathe out. All right. Move to the front here for a moment to say thank you. Thank you so much for being here and for taking the time to practice and to practice with me. I am easy to find. My email is posers, poseurs777 @gmail. If you have any questions or feedback or comments about class, I would be totally happy to talk to you about those things. Again, I do recognize just right away that this class is, I think it's a cool vinyasa class. I think physically there's, you could theme the class in a million different ways and it could have a completely different vibe. I made a really intentional choice to theme it in this way. So I don't know, take it or leave it. But if you want more resources or things like that about healthy aggression or how sort of trauma lives inside of the body or the nervous system, I super recommend any book by Peter Levine, Gabor Mate. He wrote a book, When the Body Says No. and also my mentor, Irene Lyon, and my teacher, Rainey Elizabeth, who you can also find. She teaches yoga in Seattle as well and is a SE practitioner. So just know that I'm here to support you, to support your practice. And I just, that's it. All right. Okay. Peace. Thank you. Oh, please check the comments. I'll leave my Venmo information. We are in the middle of COVID-19 right now. So things are just a little bit bumpy for all of us. But Posers is always pay what you can. It's about a practice of dana and generosity. Just whatever you can contribute in a way that makes you feel generous is the right amount. But mostly I just really appreciate you coming and checking this out. So thank you again. Oh, and watch Buffy because it's amazing.